You have heard the story of Matsyavatara many times, right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a few questions and let us see how much you remember the Matsyavatara story.
Okay.
Okay. Bhargavi, do you know the meaning of the word Matsya?
Yes, Matsya means fish.
Kiara, do you remember the meaning of the word Avatara in Sanskrit?
Yes. Avatara means the different forms of Vishnu.
That's right. So there are 10 different forms of Vishnu, and that is why it's called the Dasavatara. That's right. So there are 10 incarnations of Vishnu, and today we are going to talk about the first avatara, which is the Matsya Avatara. Right? So, long ago, Matsya Avatara happened, and Bhargavi, do you remember what time period it was?
Yes, it was at Satya Yuga.
That's correct. Matsyavatara happened long time ago, millions of years ago, when the time period was called as Satya Yuga. Now the Yuga is called Kali Yuga, right? There are 4 Yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga right now.
Yes.
But this story happened millions of years ago when it was called as Satya Yuga. And there was a very good king called Satyavrata. And Kiara, do you remember what Satyavrata did?
He meditated to Brahma.
That's correct. Now let's do a role play where Bhargavi pretends like Satyavrata and Kiara pretends like Brahma. And did Brahma come in front of Satyavrata and bless him? What did he say?
I'm pleasant. I'm pleased with your praying. Ask me whatever you want. I would like to be part of the great flood, the Pralaya.
Why is that? Why did Satyavrata want to be part of the Pralaya? Why did Satyavrata, can Bhargavi guess, why did Satyavrata want to be part of the Pralaya?
To help save the living beings.
Living beings, there are many living beings. Can you say from examples of living beings?
Like trees, plants, worms, and animals that are helpless.
That's right, they need help when a great flood comes. And Pralaya is the greatest flood that can be possible. That is a huge flood where, can you imagine huge mountains that are very, very tall? Even those tall mountains will be submerged in water.
Wow.
That is what Pralaya means. It's a very, very huge flood. And all these trees, herbs, and animals, they need help, right? Trees can't move. Insects are tiny. They will need help. So, Satyavrata, because he was a very good king, wanted to be a part of the Pralaya. Right? And Brahma said, yes, you can be part of this Pralaya. So, after Brahma went back, Satyavrata waited and waited and waited for a very long time, for many, many years, that he even forgot that he got this boon. One day, he lived near a river called
Kritamala.
That's correct. He lived near a river called Kritamala. And in the Kritamala river, every morning he goes to take bath. And this morning, he was doing something called the Tarpana. Kira, do you know what is Tarpana?
Yes.
What is it?
Tarpanam is something that you pray to your ancestors and offer them water.
That's correct. So, he went to the river, took some water, recited a few mantras, and he was about to pour the water. What was inside the hands? Yes, Kiara.
A little fish.
A little fish. And it wasn't just a fish.
No.
What was it?
A talking fish.
A talking fish. Do fishes talk? No, right?
Satyavata was shocked.
Satyavata was shocked. That's right.
He put the fish back in the water with the water in his palms.
And what did the fish say?
Oh king, don't put me back in the water. There are beings that can kill me.
That's right. There are beings that can kill me inside the water. Don't put me. And Satyavrata wanted to save that little fish, and he put it inside a pot called Kamandala. All sages carry this pot called Kamandala, And can you take the fish like that and put him inside the Kamandala? Right. So Satyavrata placed him inside the Kamandala and kept it in one corner of his house. And he slept.
Um,
Next morning, what happened, Kiara?
next morning it grew much bigger.
It-
And I have a question.
Yes, what is your question?
That if we had known that he had to save it, then he saved it. But then afterwards, if he said right in the story afterwards, he said
He
that
he was told by Brahma that he has to save all the living beings.
yeah. So he knew that, but then why did he come to remind? And what was the reminder?
The reminder was that in few days the pralaya is going to happen. He doesn't know when the pralaya is going to happen, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and only Vishnu knows that secret, right? So, in order to warn him that pralaya is going to come, it's time for you to get prepared, right? That is why a small fish came and he kept it inside the kamandala, and the next morning the fish grew too big in size. And what did the fish say, Bhargavi?
Oh king, can you find a more bigger and peaceful place for me to live?
That's right. He needed a much peaceful place and a bigger place because this pot was not big enough. And where did he transport it to, Bhargavi?
In the well.
He put it in the well.
Took it and he put it in the well.
That's right. He took it and put it inside the well. Kiara, there was a well big enough for the fish?
No, it grew bigger in 48 minutes.
In 48 minutes. And what is 48 minutes called in Sanskrit?
Muhurta.
That's right. In the time of a muhurta, 48 minutes, it grew big, very big, that the well was not good enough. So, again, Satyavrata took him and transported into a lake. And was the lake good enough for it? No.
Immediately it started growing into the whole size of the lake.
That's right. It grew to the biggest possible size of the lake. And again, it was saying, "Oh, king, please transfer me to a bigger place." And Satyavrata can think of only one more biggest lake that is possible, which is the ocean. Now Satyavrata took him to the ocean and put him inside. Now what did the fish say again?
He said that oh king, why are you putting me back in here? There are more dangerous beings that can kill me.
Yes, there are more dangerous creatures like whales and other creatures that can kill me. And then Satyavrata didn't know what else to do, and he prayed to Vishnu and he said, "Oh fish, you are Lord Narayana himself. So please tell me what I need to do." Then, you know what Mahavishnu told him? "I came to warn you that in 7 days the great pralaya is going to come." In how many days?
7.
Yeah, in 7 days a great flood is going to come. So get prepared, collect all the seeds,
Plants,
trees
animals that are helpless.
Okay, and collect all of them and put inside a boat. Okay, and do you remember how Matsya is going to come? In what color?
In the golden.
Yes, the Matsya is going to come like a big fish in golden color. And what will he have?
A horn.
A horn on his head. And can you use for having so many people in a big boat? Is it enough if you have a normal rope and tie it to Matsya?
No.
What did Vishnu ask them to use as a rope?
The Vasuki.
Yes, the great Vasuki snake. Can you do your hands like this? The great Vasuki snake. Yes, they tied him to the boat and they pulled the boat. Matsya pulled the boat. Can you do like Matsya? And Matsya pulled the boat. Okay, and Matsya pulled the boat and they escaped the great flood. So Vishnu came and warned Satyavrata that in 7 days the pralaya is going to come. Before that, Satyavrata collected everything, and on the seventh day it started raining, it started pouring heavily. A lot of great floods came, and even mountains got submerged in water. And all Satyavrata, the Sapta Rishis, and all the living beings were inside this great boat. It is tied to Vasuki's snake, and Vasuki is holding on to the horn of Matsya. And during this flood, there are the four Vedas. Do you know that there are four Vedas?
Yes.
Yeah, the four Vedas was taken by a demon called.
Hayagriva.
That's right, Hayagriva, or the horse-faced demon, took all the four Vedas and hid it under the ocean. Now Vishnu had to find Hayagriva, and he had to bring the Vedas back so that they can use the secrets inside the Vedas and start living in the world again. And during the time of the deluge, Vishnu, in the form of Matsya, told a lot of the secrets of the Vedas and taught everything to Satyavrata, and Satyavrata learnt it from Vishnu himself. And then, Kiara, do you remember what do we call Satyavrata now?
Now we call Satyavata
As
Manu.
Manu. That's right. Do you remember Bhargavi? His name also starts with V.
Vaivaswata Manu.
Correct. Vaivasvata Manu. Manu is also called Vivaswan. Okay. So he is Brahma's assistant. So there are many Brahmas, and the Brahma we have for today's world has an assistant called Vaivasvata Manu. Right?
I have a question.
What's your question?
Why are there so many Brahmas?
There are so many Brahmas because there are so many time periods and so many different universes. So after every 4 yugas, again another Brahma will come.
Oh.
Yeah, after.
And then the Yuga will start again.
Yes, the yugas will start again. And right now we are in Kali Yuga. That is why when you go to the temple or when some puja happens in your house, the priest and your parents will say something called.
Vaivasvata Manu.
Yes, they will say something called the Sankalpa, and in the Sankalpa, they will say uh, Kali Yuge Prathame Pate Vaivasvata Manvantare. That is like, Google Maps, right? Google Maps, it shrinks like this and comes to the point in which you are there. You can see your house inside the Google Maps, right? It will show something called the latitude and longitude in the map. Correct? Like,
No.
yes, okay, next time I will show it to you. Okay.
Okay.
So like that, from the time period of the yuga, in this Kali Yuga, in this Brahma, with the help of Vaivasvata Manu's time period, like that we are stating the time period, and that is called the Sankalpa. Can you say that word?
The Sankalpa.
That's correct. Next time anybody says the Sankalpa, remember Matsyavatara story.
Okay.
Okay. Did you like the story?
Yes. I enjoyed it very much.
That is nice. Okay, now can we all sit with eyes closed and think about the Matsya Avatara and say Om 3 times? धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः.